Hey, everybody! Hey, Pierre. We were just talking about cats, and we live somewhere they're gonna die. That's fun.
We were totally not watching that.
I was watching. I was like, and snap. Oh no! It just when I said live, it was like hey, like that was live. So, how's everybody doing?
Awesome. What's up, guys?
What's up?
We finally kind of have Ruthann here.
Hi.
Sorry, our TV is like really weird, and also to all the like real Twitch streamers, they're like, "What is this?" Like, this is how we know how to do things. We're musicians. We were lucky to know how to make YouTube videos.
Also, yeah, don't adjust your screen. That is how white I am. I'm that white. You might want to put some sunscreen on. Just FYI. Like,
legit though, you look like when you see this later, you're gonna love it. You look like the cover to that Duran Duran album with that really like chic '80s. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Ruthann, if anybody was watching last week, you know that Ruthann was supposed to be here last week, but we were kind of vague. But now that we can talk about it, Ruthann exiled to London.
Oh.
But it was quite an exciting day.
Yeah, I kind of.
It was great.
It was by exciting, he means absolutely terrifying and very rash.
Well, I love it because I mean there was a lot of back and forth, but at one point I was gonna maybe take you to the airport, but then like you couldn't leave your car because it's Los Angeles. You couldn't just leave your car somewhere, you know. Although if you did, it would have been like a bonus for some straggler later when everything gets looted and stuff.
I mean, like, would it though? You see my car. Actually, I should have let it get stolen. Actually, let it get stolen.
Yeah.
Somebody jump in it and they'll start it up and get ready to steal
You're
it,
like,
and then just
no,
pull it back over.
Yeah, just like park it, like.
They're like I'd be better on foot.
Yeah.
It's like a perfectly good car.
But then like I think one of my favorite things was you were like, tell me this isn't what like rash and stupid or something like that, and I was like, it's all of those things, but it's amazing. Like,
do what you got to do.
I loved it. Like, I mean, I was scared a little bit because one of the potential things was like, well, I could be in quarantine for 14 days at the airport or something like that. And I was like, that's the only bad thing, so I'm worried about that. But everything else sounds amazing. You know, like.
Yeah.
I
mean, it was 1,000% worth it.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Like, I lucked out. I feel terrible for so many people who are still stuck, like, in random parts of the world, far away from home and all that kind of stuff. But I legit, like, did the math of, like, all right, I'm going to pick this flight because it's nonstop, and I'm not going to do the American Airlines. I'm going to do the British Airlines. Those are going to be native, and they're not even going to stop me. And they didn't. I literally just, like, scanned my passport and walked in with, like,
I'm here.
That's awesome.
I did it.
Wow. Oh, hey, Brandon, what's up? Brandon's in here.
Oh, hey, buddy, what's up?
But yeah, Ruthann texted me as soon as she got to the airport on the other side, and it was like, not quarantined, and I was like, cool. I mean, I was amped up. Like, I was telling her that like when she was at the airport, like waiting to get on the flight, I was like, I feel like the guy in the chair.
Legitimately, he was the guy in the chair. Like, between him and my dad, because it was my dad who gave me the, like, oh, what's the worst that can happen? I was like, well, I could just be sent right back. I could be put in quarantine for 14 days. He goes, yeah, you only live once. Go for it. My dad legitimately told me YOLO.
That's awesome.
That's my dad. He's awesome.
Well, that was another thing I said. I was like, well, like,
that's
I mean,
sick.
Your mom was a whole nother story, but it's like, if your dad was like, do it, I'm like, hey, I mean, that's half of what I'd be worried about to begin with, you know, just family. So it's like, well, one family member knows.
Yeah. Well, also, my entire family hates that I live in LA. Like, they absolutely, especially after the attack, but like, they've always hated that I live in LA. So they've been nothing but excited that I'm like out here with a lovely family, totally safe, and like, yeah, it's pretty idyllic out here. And I would have gone nuts alone in that tiny little apartment, especially because I have that tent city of homeless people right behind me.
Yeah, and also we won't disclose exactly where Ruthann lives, but she's pretty much in Hollywood, and we don't like dig up old past things, but something crazy happened almost a couple years ago now and stuff, and it was right in the
neighborhood. It was only a year and a half ago.
God, it feels like it's been 9 years, like the last year. You know? But
lots happened.
So that was there anyway. So like when she was like, I'm leaving, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to scare anybody, but when you're like, I'm making the decision on my own, I was like, do it. Oh, so Jen, our manager Jen says, if anybody asks, I'm slinging some good PRL, $50 a gram.
If you would have did it any later, you'd have had trouble.
Oh yeah, no, literally the flight after me was like they blocked people off, and you had to go through like a screening thing and like have your temperature taken, like a whole thing. Anybody with a passport that wasn't for UK was either sent back or put into a totally different like holding area.
Wow. Yeah.
So I legit like made it on one of the last flights.
And so
for those that don't know, like, because we're telling a story, but like I legit didn't know I was gonna make this plan until I called Rod at like 3 p.m.
Something like that.
I took a flight at 10 p.m. so I had 1 hour to pack, which I packed some bullshit. Ain't nothing. I packed 2 suits. What am I gonna wear suits for?
What?
I expect to see like a full drama in your backyard now. Like where you're all the characters.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, because I had the entire week before all this, before I came here, I was actually staying at my friend's house and dog sitting and house sitting. So I already had like a little roller bag with my suits that I've been wearing to my new office, which I'm so glad I got an office finally.
Nice.
A week before the apocalypse.
Yeah, right. Ruthann's been working from home until a week before everything closed down. You couldn't work. Yeah. You had to work from home.
I saw that dog. The cutie dog.
Oh, Lola Bug. Yeah, that's my best friend's doggo that I got to love upon for a whole week, and she's just the best. And
so
she's safe with her mom right now.
Real quick, Brandon said we're not. So Brandon works in retail, and he says, "Well, also thank you for working." Brandon says we're not even allowed to return food, but it wasn't even open. It was a 6-pack of vitamin water. I get the overcautiousness though, because Jen, we'll text you when we're done. Because I don't know if it's in LA, but I saw a headline, and the headline might be bullshit, but it doesn't surprise me if it was. It wouldn't surprise me if it was true. They're talking about like tweens and teenagers going to grocery stores and like coughing on fruit.
Yeah, they're doing. It's a real thing. They're doing TikTok videos of this because they think it's funny.
Cool.
And I just
what?
Like
cool.
Yeah, like, legitimately, they think it's funny. They're coughing in people's faces and taking videos. Because like there's this weird thing. I feel like ours is the last generation. Don't mind a certain gentleman talking behind me. He is streaming. He's not even streaming. He's just playing a Pirates game.
Oh,
with his friends.
Yes.
Awesome.
He has no idea. Like quarantine. But I feel like it's weird because the news people are making fun of like millennials and saying that millennials are the problem. Like, no, man, it's these millennials that think it's like real cool to be assholes.
Yeah.
Like they think it's real funny, and I'm not gonna screw it. I'll call my little brother out. He's 15. I don't care. He ain't watching this. He's too busy on TikTok as we speak. So he was pulling up all these videos on TikTok and like that he thought was funny. And there was one that pulled like a really not cool 9/11 joke. And I stopped and I got real quiet and like he kind of saw me like kind of get stern. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot like you were alive then, so like you take it seriously.
Holy
crap! Okay, first of all,
yo,
yeah, that's the right face, Rod. I was like,
oh my god, dude,
that
like right. That's this generation. I feel like the worst thing us millennials did was we thought apathy was real cool for like a hot minute.
Oh yeah, it was the very dark. It was like.
Dicks.
When I was a kid, World War II jokes were like the top of hits back then.
Oh yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah, making Holocaust jokes.
Yeah.
Hey, son.
Right.
Yeah,
so I get him. I get his vibe.
About the apathy.
I was writing it on the chalkboard because that was the only way we had social media back then.
Actually, yeah. You like write the little secret messages in the corners and hope the teacher didn't notice. You put like a book in front of it, and then like later somebody finds like he wrote boobs.
Who wrote boobs?
So Brandon says
We're all giggling.
Brandon doesn't work retail anymore. He's a security guard, but still, thank you for keeping up the work. He was trying to return something and he couldn't because he got the wrong flavor. So that kind of sucks. Sorry to hear about that, but I guess let's get a play. Does anybody have any '90s songs? Like,
oh yeah. So first of all, it's so great that you guys brought me on to talk about the '90s because you guys know this. I don't know whoever's watching knows this, but I grew up under a rock in Montpelier, Vermont, which is the smallest capital in the U.S. and it was always about 10 years behind. So, like, any 90s music, I'm just like, because I was like, yeah, Moxie Fruitus. And you guys are like, what? Who dat? I was like, Real Backs. Cool.
But I'm glad the first thing she mentioned was They Might Be Giants. I was like, I didn't know if anybody was going to mention They Might Be Giants. Like, that Flood is my favorite. Like, actually, Flood and one of Blue October's albums are literally my apocalypse albums because I have physical copies on CD in my car of Flood and Foiled by Blue October.
Yeah.
Because when I used to road trip and we used to road trip, sometimes you'd hit stretches of the United States where there's no cell phone signal, so you can't stream music.
Yeah.
So those were the CDs.
Yeah.
And so like literally my like Desert Island, now Apocalypse like albums.
Jesus Freak.
So
DC
for you kids that don't know,
one.
CDs stands for compact disc. It was using light to read. Yeah, anyways.
So Brandon suggested Jesus Freak by DC Talk, and I dig this one because this was part of my childhood too. They were a Christian band. Well, they still are Christian, kind of. It was a Christian band, but like they started getting like mainstream success because the music was just like actually good. Like that album was like really good. It was kind of like the Christians' answer to like I don't want to say Nirvana because they're two different things. Like Nirvana is definitely rock, and DC Talk is pop and rock.
Yeah.
But like
way more melodic.
But the Jesus Freak thing kind of combined like the edge of like Nirvana with like Beatles harmonies and stuff like that and things. And
what was it called? Oh, was it? I was just thinking about like all the terms like indie rock. Is that what we used to call it back then? Right?
Yeah, when it was still indie.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, I guess we could add Nirvana on here. Like this is good. It smells like Teen Spirit.
Oh
feels
yeah, because I was thinking Nirvana, Sublime.
Ooh yeah. Actually, you're a huge Sublime fan. What would be your pick?
Oh, 40 Ounces to Freedom.
There you go.
Yes.
Very
what else
good
we got?
for right now.
Oh, and of course, License to Ill.
Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys.
I remember the friend that got me that album.
Yes. That's such a great album. What was it? Brass, Monkey,
Subdex.
I mean, if we want to go like real tender, got to throw some Jewel in there.
Yes, Who Will Save Your Soul? I actually I didn't like that song. I didn't like that song.
Save
I guess so. Should it be that one or should it be like not a deep cut, but like because that was the one that everybody knew her for? I guess that makes fair to have on here, right?
Yeah.
So I like You Were Meant for Me, but like the radio version.
Yes.
You know,
that was a good
Agreed.
one.
Yeah, You Were Meant for Me.
This is going in a direction now.
And then Brandon said Heart Shaped Box. Let's do that one too.
Oh yes. I mean, can we really have a '90s album without Alanis Morissette?
Oh god, just a whole album of Jagged Little Pill.
I know. I was about to say like just that whole
album.
thing.
I know it wasn't as like big of a deal as like Hand in My Pocket or anything, but to me like it doesn't get much more '90s than like all I Really Want. You know. Like, do I freak you out? Yeah. My sweater's on backwards and inside out. You say, how? Yes. There's like 12 90s cliches in the first sentence.
If we are playing this live, we're going to get some sing-along stuff.
Well, so how this all started was when we used to live stream, we kept saying that we were going to like have some theme to everything. We could never figure out what it was. And then we started realizing people started like recommending songs and video links and stuff. And we're like, we can't play that on here without getting copyright claim. And then we're like, we'll just make a playlist. And we're like, why don't we make playlists every week?
Now there's lots of playlists.
All right. Well, if we want some more ladies on there, Cranberries.
Oh yeah. What was it called? Yeah, what's your favorite Cranberries?
I saw the sign.
Ace of Base.
Opened up my eyes. I saw the sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which Cranberries song?
Zombie is too easy.
Yeah, and we had that on last week's playlist. Oh, hey, okay, so Brandon suggested Here With Me by Dido. That's amazing. Also,
well played.
Granny Potty Mouth's on here. Hi, Granny.
Hey, Granny.
Granny's like, I'm so
Hi,
lost.
Granny.
I think Granny was raising children in the 90s, so not checking out. So, Granny, we're picking out songs from the 90s.
Yeah.
If you happen to have any suggestions, cool. If not, then we're just hanging out. This is Ruthann. Well, you remember Ruthann. She's in well, not London, but that's what we say in the States. that's what people know here.
Yeah. Just outside of London.
Yeah. Here
London adjacent.
Me.
Yeah.
You know, I have to add for myself, since you mentioned Ace of Base, Beautiful Life was like my favorite Ace of Base song.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful life. I forget how that goes.
It was like the fourth or fifth song I learned to play on piano because it's just that one intro over and over again. It's like dum da 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 da, and then it's the same chords, only instead of doing that cool pattern, it's dun 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 dun. Like,
like we're gonna.
I'm going through like what my all the CDs I had were.
I would put a Bush song on here.
Yes, Bush. 4 days. Give us some Bush.
I forgot to put.
Sorry, what?
Phrasing.
Yeah, I forgot to put the chat up here. Oh.
We're not doing phrasing anymore?
We're doing phrasing.
I accidentally put up my Animal Crossing screenshots for a second. That's fun.
Oh, that's good. Oh wait, I just thought of another one. Beck.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was definitely an album I listened to
Granny
so much.
Granny was like, grandchildren. Hey, Mike. How you doing? Michael Brown's on here. Mike, this is our friend Ruthann. She exiled to Europe.
Hi.
Because, really, it's like, did you ever watch Fringe?
Yeah, oh my god, I was obsessed with that show.
So you're kind of like in the parallel America right now. Like, you have your own.
Am.
You're on the other side.
Where they're educated and not freaking the F out.
So, so Brandon recommended All That She Wants Is Another Baby.
Is another baby.
So,
that she wants
you know,
another baby. Hey.
You know the cool thing, well, not cool, it's something that was so like 90s to me, especially with pop music, was like Ace of Base are like the masters of like cool song you'll sing every word to and nothing means anything. Like,
it's my kind of music.
I think the Sign, the second verse was like, under the pale moon where I see a lot of stars. Ooh. Is enough enough?
Enough.
What did any of that mean?
I missed it. Like, where was the...
Where was the thing?
Yeah. Well, but of course, like, I love, like, I don't know about you guys, like, for me, that when that album came out, like, I put a lot of deep meaning behind every one. Like, like, that was the best thing about, like, some 90s music. You had, like, you basically, like, retconned it yourself, like, what it was about. You're like, yeah, totally, that's totally just like me and Tommy. You're like, what?
Totally. Like,
so I know this is early 2000s, and we might do this for next week's list, but, like, remember I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys?
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean either? You know?
Okay, so obviously I was not the most popular kid, because we're talking about if we were doing like a real 90s stream, I would legitimately have my headgear that had a denim like strap with my braces. Like I had not only like a retainer thing, but one of those awful things that you like you had to have a turnkey that like
I had that, yeah.
Out.
Oh, jeez.
I had the big old glasses, I had the inhaler, probably food in my hair. Yeah, I was super popular.
Look at those teeth now.
Hey, Vince's mom's on here. Hey, what's up, Mom?
Vince.
Hi, Mom.
What's up, Mom?
This is Ruthann. She's in London, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Brandon suggested Kiss Me.
Mom, 90s songs. We're making a playlist.
Kiss me.
You know, actually, something else. I'll send this to Ruthann later. Actually, I'll put it on a playlist if I find it, but they recorded a Japanese version. And it's so cool.
I am so on board.
Because it's funny because
tell me more.
You know how like in
you had me at Japanese. Go on.
So like, just because like phonetically, there's more syllables in the Japanese language for the similar phrases, and so I mean, it sounds good to me. I guess like Vince would have to listen or whatever, but she's just like kiss me.
It's one of those things that they're like that she's saying the words faster than you can hear. Like
to me, yeah.
Rappers are like, I can't even hear that fast. How are you?
So she fits all the Japanese syllables in, and then the only English words are kiss me.
That's fire.
Like the Dragon Ball theme song, like chala, head chala. You're like.
And then Richard.
What do you think about head?
Richard said I clicked on the Facebook notification and Daniel Day Kim showed up. It's wrong, Kim.
Yeah.
I wish I had his abs though, or any abs. Well, I have one.
I have one ab. It's my favorite ab. I'm keeping it.
And then
a 90s playlist.
So Richard said he needs to hear that version. So okay, actually, I'm acting like I'm not at a computer and just do it right now.
Give me a 90s song.
Do it. All right, so let's see what else we got for 90s. Because like I was not into the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98 Degrees. Like that was not my jam.
Guess who was?
I mean, obviously, I'm really surprised you guys haven't brought up any Spice Girls. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, even what is it? Britney Spears. One More Time. That was 90s. wasn't it?
Oh God, that was.
Was that 90s or 2000?
Yeah, I think it was.
No, I think that was
Was it
late 90s?
98.
So I think Oops, I Did It Again was the 2000s.
Yeah.
Is that weird that Britney like literally straddles 2 decades?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I mean, look at Madonna. She straddles like 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess so. Britney's still kind of, she has her Vegas show and everything,
Yeah.
or she did until last week. But like I heard the peak of her career, like like the Oops, I Did It Again, and Baby One More Time, like straddled. That
this all makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
But like Madonna is like, did
she straddle it, Ryan? straddle that?
She was all over the place. Like, it's funny. This is a side story, but I figure I'll bring it up here because like we have time.
We are literally doing nothing.
Back when I was in college, I watched right after college. I watched a documentary with Madonna being on tour and everything.
Yeah.
And they interviewed her dad. And this at that time she had been doing this for like maybe 20 or 25 years, like number ones and all this stuff. And her dad was like, "Oh, I'm glad she's having fun. I can't wait till someday she gets a real job." And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm fine. Like, I love my parents. No matter what they say, I don't need them to get it. I'm just gonna keep trying because Madonna's dad is still waiting for her to get a real job.
25 years into her career.
But also, you can not like what she does, but you can't deny that she's literally like probably the iconic like pop star. Like
she has been a pop. She's still a pop star, but like she was a legit pop star with like in the top 10 hits for 30 years.
Yeah,
that's insane, and she's still going.
Yeah,
like that's crazy. That is hard work and dedication.
Oh, so
Rebel Heart, that was a great album.
Yeah,
that was what 2010 or something.
A little bit after that, something like that. That was
Oh God, that was 10 years ago. What?
So Brandon suggested Breakfast in Hell, not.
Oh yeah.
So people in that weren't in CCM music probably don't know this one, but this was another good one because it was one of the reasons I love like 90s CCM music was because a lot of it was very like similar in quality to like mainstream music, but it also carried the spirit of being fun without being preachy, So like Breakfast in Hell was like when the toast is burned and all the milk has turned and Captain Crunch is waving you farewell. When the big one finds you.
Me and Vince were on the same page. I have no fucking clue what he's talking about.
May this song remind you that they don't serve breakfast.
I saw your face. We left your eyes. Keep talking.
So they're saying basically it's like when the big one finds you, may the song remind you that they don't serve breakfast in hell. And I thought that was like a very like they might be giants way of approaching, kind of saying like don't be a dick, you're gonna burn forever.
Yeah, like silly ways to hide. Yeah, meaning.
And then Richard said, "Well, Madonna supposedly straddles everything."
that yeah.
And then
I approve.
Yeah.
Vince's mom suggests "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston. Okay, I gotta start adding this stuff.
Well played, Mom.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Newsboys. And I'm not gonna try to sing it.
I'm trying to think of what is absolutely necessary on this '90s playlist.
Is anything necessary?
Alanis
so yeah, this is the thing we're hitting a lot of like late 90s stuff. I mean, if we're going like early 90s, you gotta throw in some like Tina Turner, right?
Yeah.
What else we gotta hit for like mid 90s and early 90s?
Oh man,
I'm so behind.
I mean, we could do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 soundtrack. Throw that. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Oh yeah.
Go Ninja, go.
Oh, anything Boys to Men.
Dude.
Oh.
Yes. Water Runs Dry is like my favorite Boyz II Men song.
That's early 90s. Well, it's
that's early 90s.
They're another one that kind of straddles things.
Tiffany's. So we have Deep Blue
We're
Something.
Keep using that term, huh? All right.
So we have
just throw it around.
We have Deep Blue Something, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah.
That's pretty quintessential 90s.
Oh yeah.
What's it? That reminds me of that other song.
I would walk 1,000. What is that song?
The Pretenders, right?
Yeah.
No, that one was. They were. No, Pretenders were rock group.
The beat though.
Proclaimers.
The Pretenders. They're the old ones.
Oh wait. So Brandon suggested Too Legit to Quit.
Too legit.
Nice.
Too legit to quit.
Too legit to quit. Can we just like the entire soundtrack to Empire Records. Just throw that in there.
Yeah, God, such a good movie.
That's another one.
I'm hitting a stage in my life where I'm missing all the gaudy fashion. You know, like
really?
Especially like the way that
I feel like it's kind of coming back in some ways.
Yeah, like definitely like the whole like Claire's look on girls. You know,
Claire's. That's where I got my ears pierced. Was that Claire's? I was tired of everybody thinking I was a boy, including my teacher.
No.
So that night, I got my ears pierced.
Oh my God, I'm so behind. Ninja rap.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ninja, go ninja, go.
That's our word.
I just had something else in my head.
Then we have we already put "Smells Like Teen Spirit" on there. 500 Miles, Doo Wop by Lauryn Hill. I heard a funny joke about Lauryn Hill about this quarantine. They're like, wouldn't it be, because you know how all these musicians are doing live stream concerts? They're like, wouldn't it be something if Lauryn Hill scheduled a live stream concert from her kitchen and still didn't show up?
I mean, if we're gonna do pop, we might have to add the Hansons. Hansons?
Hanson, yeah.
Yeah,
so...
Who I legitimately thought were the girls and liked the music, and then I was like, oh, they're boys? I'm out.
So, I don't think...
You blonde little bitches, get out.
So I don't think Ruthann's heard this story, but back when we were in Delaware, there was a huge music festival. It sounds hokey, but they had legit music acts and stuff. It was called the Wilmington Flower Market, and it happened on Mother's Day weekend. And it was a flower market, but also because of capitalism, it evolved into something much bigger, you know? So there was like a main stage where the radio station had like national acts go through. And then all the opening acts were local bands. And so we were the local band that, we weren't the opener, but we were like, there was like 3 or 4 openers, and we were the opener for Hanson, right? And so then we go into the crowd, and we're like, we're going to check out a couple songs just to see, because we would never like think about going to a Hanson concert otherwise. And then we were like, because they're not going to do that song, they
that's what it was.
Yeah. So we're like they'll do that last. So we'll just like take off way before then. So they were really good, like musicians, like insanely good musicians, because they've all grown up and stuff. But they did MMMBop like dead in the middle of their set, like 3 or 4 songs in, and just the crowd, like, so these girls, these '90s girls that have grown up to be like grown-ass women and stuff, traveled from hundreds of miles.
Lost their minds.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
they had driven from hundreds of miles to get here, and then they lost their minds. And I looked at Vince and was like, "This is how we die, because we're in the middle. We can't get out. We can't get out."
We should have had an exit strategy.
Just trampled by 30-something desperate women. Thirsty AF.
The craziest part is once we got behind everybody and everyone's in front of us, we could see all the Hanson tattoos on the shoulders.
So,
and one of them had 4 signatures on it.
So that was was funny.
And there's only 3 Hansons.
So we were like, did like a sound guy get in?
Who's the 4th signature? She had 4 signatures on her Hanson tattoo.
I like that I'm being this judgy when I have a literal Dragon Ball Z tattoo on the back of my neck. Like, yeah, those idiots, am I right? Those crazy bitches.
Those yeah, but you got a Majin Buu. That's way doper than like.
My favorite is, yeah, but it's great too because like dudes are like being gross trying to hit on me and they're like, oh, my name's Strauss, so then get it for me. Or like my favorite is, oh, is that your sign? I'm like, M?
You like magic?
Whose sign is that?
Whose sign is that?
If you could only see. Was that 90s or was that 2000s?
Was that
what
Fuel?
Song?
If you could only. Yeah, Fuel.
If you could only see how much I love you. Tell me you understand.
How many songs do we have? Okay, we're pretty good. We have 17 or 18. That's good.
I forgot about that song. Is that Fuel?
I think it's Fuel.
I have no idea.
One of our things, we have to figure out how to word this, but we had an idea last week. We should do a playlist of songs we thought were by other people.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
Like everything All For One did, God bless them, got accredited to Boyz II Men.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, it's true. It's so true.
Radiohead. Creep.
Oh.
Oh.
That's early 90s.
That was, I was gonna say the other ones, like, to really like bring out the angsty teenager in me would be like Portishead, Bjork, Rage Against the Machine.
We got to put Rage on there.
Yeah.
A Bjork song too.
It's Oh So Quiet. I don't know if she filmed that or recorded that in the 90s, but I love that song.
Yeah, can you look that up? And we'll add it on here. I love Bjork. I had my friend Megan in Delaware. She was like the other Bjork fan, and so like once she moved away, and she like mailed me a physical CD mixtape of Bjork. Like,
I love that we keep having to say physical CDs.
Yeah.
All these kids don't know what the F we're talking about. Like, it's a physical thing. It's not a little icon on your fucking screen. It's a real physical thing.
Oh, Army of Me by Bjork. That's a good one.
Army by Me. Yes. Who called that? It was a good job.
That was a Brandon. And then Richard.
Brandon.
Richard was like Tori Amos. Just pick one.
Tori Amos. Good call. Oh, man.
So,
anything by Tori Amos.
Tallulah was like my favorite in the 90s.
Oh, Tallulah.
So this is funny. In the playlist last week when we did the Wash Your Hands songs, Richard suggested Caudalite Sneeze by Tori Amos.
95. We're in there for...
Oh, It's Oh So Quiet?
Yeah.
All right, It's Oh So Quiet, right in the middle of the 90s. Oh, so fun story.
But Army of Me is a very good choice, too.
Yeah, I'm going to put both of them in here.
Bring out the tank girl in me.
A friend of mine recorded a...
That's what I'm talking about.
Tank girl.
A friend of mine recorded a cover of It's Oh So Quiet, and it ended up being the entire theme song for the Birds of Prey trailer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was a really good version of that. I performed that at my bar back in New York City back in the day.
So for those who don't know, speaking of the 90s,
it was very funny too because it was a completely packed bar of like bar. Oh yeah.
Oh, go tell your story.
Whoa. So you guys cut out a little bit for me. So you guys talk away and I'll catch up.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, I can tell. Okay. So basically, I randomly bartended. Not randomly. I barred the bar that Coyote was based on in New York City. Mm-hmm. So but one of the nights we had to perform songs by somebody like in the 90s, and I was like, New York, bitches. And so I had this entire packed bar of like bikers and hardcore guys and all this kind of stuff. And the song comes on, and you guys ever heard like, it's so quiet. It's oh so still. Everybody's just like dead silent, just staring at me. And I'm doing all these spins and crazy moves, and the entire like place like erupts in cheers.
Whoa.
It was insane. I took down the entire house with this like random Bjork song. It was very satisfying.
Jesus, that's amazing.
So, Richard suggested "Good Vibrations" by Marky Mark.
Cool. All right.
How captivating it would be, to start off just like, what the is going on? What is this?
It was like this crazy bitch, and I was also known as the absolute crazy bitch because like but the funny thing is I was such a goody two shoes because I had like at the time no tattoos, no piercings, no nothing. I just came from Vermont. Like I was so cute, and
maple syrup.
All the other chicks are tattooed and crazy. And I come in, but every time, like, my favorite was one of my main bouncers. Whenever he come in, and he was like, I swear to Christ, it's like a cartoon when you're working. Because I'm, like, throwing bottles and doing weird shit and, like, juggling and, like, blowing fire and, like, jumping on people. Like, I don't give an F. Like, this is me calmed down, by the way, guys.
Yeah, this is quarantine room.
This is me chill AF compared to the way I used to be when I was, like, 21, so.
Wow.
So, Brandon suggested the Addams Family rap by MC Hammer. Remember that?
The Addams Family.
But MC Hammer's version was like they do what they want to do, say what they want to say.
Yeah.
And Richard, we already did All That She Wants. Mike O'Brien said Matters of the Heart. Who was that by?
Oh, it's gonna bother me.
Tracy Chapman?
Somebody.
Michael McDonald.
Tracy Chapman?
Michael McDonald. No, just play.
I guess clarify and we'll put it on there. I haven't pulled up.
Yeah.
But we got a cool list here so far. I thought so. Here's my thing: when I look up like '90s playlists on Spotify or Apple Music, they're always like the same, which is great because I want to know what's on there.
Yeah.
But this is cool because this has some stuff that I think like Portishead.
I think it's Tracy Chapman.
Okay, cool.
Michael McDonald.
What Portishead song would be good to put on here? Oh, Richard, Two Princes.
Wait, hold on. I have to think of Portishead songs.
I know Only You, but I don't know if that was 90s or 2000s.
The only one I can think of is Glory Box.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah, Glory Box. That's good.
But I don't remember.
Let's go with that one.
I don't know. I don't remember when that came out.
I think that was the 90s.
Let me check.
I had Two Princes.
94.
Sweet. Glory Box. Please don't pop up with a current answer.
I know. I was like, Glory Box, Portishead.
One word.
Come on.
Oh man. Would it be too cliche to put Semi-Charm Life on there?
No, because that is 90s like pop rock.
That's
all I can hear is that fill into the do 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 do.
You know, while we're adding that, I want to add this is the story of a girl.
Oh, Stroke 9.
Cried a river and drowned the whole world.
Or was that 9 days?
That was 9 days. Which is funny because
Little Black Backpack was Stroke 9.
Ah, gotcha. 9 days. It was funny because I think I heard a story that they used to be a cover band and then they got signed, and it was like, and they have original songs, but they still sound like a cover band.
Oh, that's rough.
Like absolutely, like Story of a Girl is like,
it's like an indie band.
It sounds like all the other 90s songs.
Yeah.
Like all the other 90s pop rock songs, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, what was that band? I Will Swallow My Pride. Eve 6.
One more time?
Oh.
Just one more time.
I Will Swallow My Pride.
When Doves Cry
totally.
from Romeo and
Exactly.
Juliet.
Just keep repeating that real quick.
So, Richard suggested How Bizarre by OMC.
How bizarre.
Yes. How bizarre. How bizarre. Oh, Cypress Hill.
Ooh.
Now, I gotta look up the...
Insane in the Membrane.
Ooh, yeah.
Insane in the Brain.
So, Brandon suggested When Doves Cry, the choir version from Romeo and Juliet. Let me see if that's in here. When Doves...
Ooh, yeah, because Romeo and Juliet was that 2000 or 99?
I think it was the 90s, because I was still in high school. Romeo and Juliet. God, how old I am. So...
I remember...
See.
I was such a theater nerd with Romeo and Juliet. I hated it because I had just done a production of it. And I was like, it's stupid. They're not even doing iambic pentameter.
Yes.
Ooh, no.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sure it shocked everybody to know I was a theater nerd.
So was I. But I was always
Yay.
either spotlight or running sound or helping distribute mics in the back.
I was doing that as well. So I was always in all black at school.
There you go.
Because I was probably going to be either changing into costume or backstage or both.
My favorite color.
Eve
Other
6,
than red.
Inside Out, right? Matt, look at that! Look at that ginger smolder he's got in the thumbnail there.
Shit.
I love Gary's commentary in the back. For those of you who don't know, Ruthann is quarantined with Gary from Sneaky Zebra, who should also check out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he just discovered. I don't know what this game is called, but it's a game from Xbox. It's like a pirate game.
Sea of Thieves.
Oh, it's called Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
And he's doing some work for it. So he's trying to capture some stuff from it. So him and his friends are playing it, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
Nice.
I just every once in a while hear like the screaming from like his friend in his ear because she's being chased by a skeleton. One accidentally burned down the ship because he put a pork chop in the oven and forgot.
I love it.
Burnt down the whole damn ship. Yeah.
So, Brandon said, what's the worst thing you can say to a theater nerd?
Oh, wait, say that one more time?
Brandon said, what's the worst thing you can say to a theater nerd? I think is we're doing
actually,
like a joke here.
I literally can't even say it because it's the name of a play that we're not allowed. The name of the Scottish play is the worst thing you can say to a theater nerd.
And then Richard said, "Did we do What's Up by Four Non-Blondes? I just added it.
Oh,
that was a good one.
Ooh,
Linda Perry.
Well played. Well played.
Let's see here. Yeah, I can't. So I don't. I forget. I think this was before we actually started streaming, but I can't. I can't judge anybody on video games anymore because like my whole life is consumed by Animal Crossing now. Like I'm getting work done, but while I'm working, I'm like,
oh shit,
I'll give myself another hour of work, and then I'm gonna go work on my house.
Take my money.
I love it.
Oh, actually, I'll pull up some stuff here. I'll send this to Ruthann later to look at, but like,
yeah.
So the first day, I literally spent 3 hours running around in my underwear. Just because you can be in a field, and I walked.
Sorry, Rod picture, it didn't happen. Just put it out there.
It's on the screen for them right now. Actually, can I pull up your thing? To pull up Twitter.
Oh yeah, here. Wait, if it's on.
Oh, it's raining. It's been raining. It's been raining.
Yeah. Oh, can you pull it up where you're at?
Yeah. What is it on? Did you put it on Facebook or would you put it on?
No, it's on screen right now. This live stream.
Oh boy. Let me see.
So like, I walk into this tent because the first day you get a tent, and I saw a little T-shirt button, and I clicked the T-shirt, and it was like, "Would you like to take your clothes off?" And I was like, "Yes." And then I just ran around in circles in my underwear for like hours.
Makes sense.
And then
who needs pants?
See, there I am, just proudly in front of my tent.
That's how I camp.
And then, so this shot, I happen to be visiting someone else's island. I'm not going to explain the semantics of this, but like I like looked up at the moon, and the shot was so framed perfectly. Like there was like a river here and a shooting star. And
I did see you post about that. You're like, I'm not crying, you're crying.
I got so choked up. I'm like, oh, why? I found out about this game 12 hours ago.
Why?
Speaking,
you're already missing the outdoors after 2 days of quarantine.
And then this was my house. So I don't know. I'm just showing off things now. And this is me
winking,
just completely
oh my God,
terrorizing a
Rob,
forest.
we really do need to have a talk. You're literally showing us like vacation pictures and like fucking video games that you just.
Oh yeah. Like, here we are.
You're like, guys, look at this.
Look at this.
This is when I cried on the cliff. Look at that beautiful moon. It's so perfect, right? Oh, right.
You know.
Here's me running around my underwear, and here's my house. See this new shelf I put up? It totally organizes all the stuff that I own.
Oh,
my
damn.
virtual house in Animal Crossing.
You know what's so funny is that like I initially I posted like one thing on there of me sitting on a chair, like kind of letting friends know, like I was just like putting my toe in. It's like I play Animal Crossing. So many friends come out of the woodwork. Like so many people came out. They were like, come to my island. Here's my code. And I was like, oh, okay. Our mutual friend John Carl, he like messaged me. He was like add me jerk face, and so like that's funny. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say I kind of like, as weird as it is, but like there's a couple of like platforms that just started when this virus started. I'm like, did y'all plan this shit?
Right, like this game wouldn't have worked for me in any other time of my life. Yeah. Like I would not have time for this.
Between this and then the new Netflix thing that they have it set up that you can like
watch on
connect
browsers
with your friends, watch things at the same time, and like have a chat window and chat with people, and like I think it's a little too good at timing.
And to everybody out there, I think we might try this in the future, so stay tuned and like let us know like what movies, because I want to toy with the idea, because that'd be kind of fun to watch some of these shows, because we're gonna be watching them anyway. So it might be fun.
I'm gonna put it out there though. You guys don't want to watch movies with me?
I do. I love.
Because like, oh wait, you have before. You've seen me. I'm like, what? No.
Yeah.
What? Just, like talking and shit.
Like
poor Gary. So like on the opposite side, that's why I was like, babe, you can totally play because I fuck up your streams all the time. So he'll be Twitch streaming, and I'm like sitting on his bed, like hidden in the shadows, like they can't see me. But I'm like watching my anime, and I forget because I've lived alone for 5 years, guys. So like I'm used to just saying whatever F I want, and I'm sitting there like, yeah. And I'm like, there's one point I'm like, yeah, I can do it, like super loud, and like I totally forget.
Oh, real quick, I'm gonna catch up in the chat here. Brandon said, "Good luck on your performance of Macbeth," and then said Ruthann got part of it. He's like, I was talking. Did you see the punchline? I just got to catch up on this. Richard said Vogue.
90.
It's a good one. I've actually been waiting. No one's made the meme yet of like quarantine, like you don't touch your face. You know, I don't know why someone hasn't made that GIF yet. Like
they have.
Well,
they have. You have to do it.
Oh,
Well, there's also, what is it from, is it Anchorman, or was it Talladega Nights? And he's just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, just put it, okay. But, I don't know. Or Jack Donaghy, who needed two mugs because he didn't know what to do with his hands. Commercial.
Let's see.
That's silly.
Then Richard was making fun of me for doing my vacation slideshow.
Like, yeah, legit.
And
like,
then,
I love you, Ron. We're friends. I'm putting it out there. You're already fucked. Like,
so, you know what's so funny though is like I kind of thought. So here's the thing. Like, this all started with Fuck Scott's girlfriend Emily. Like Scott and Emily, and they're.
Do they know why we call him Fuck Scott?
Yeah. Enough of the people know. That whole crew, like, they started like a D&D podcast, and I was like, you know, the weird thing is, like, I don't like playing D&D because I just something in my brain chemistry ever doesn't get into like role playing in that sense on a board game or whatever, you know. But I love watching friends play it because I love how much they love, like, they get into it, you know. So like a D&D podcast by my friends is like perfect. And so then, like, I was just kind of like appreciating like Emily's enthusiasm for Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And then the more she talked about it, I was like, are there any videos I could watch? And then fast forward, I watched 2 hours of YouTube videos of people talking about Animal Crossing in the last 20 years. And then I was like, I'm going to download this now. And here I am. I'm too far gone. Like, if
I know, you're like, I don't like it because I don't like get into it or anything. You literally just showed us
I know.
pictures.
That's what I'm saying. It started.
Like a slideshow of a vacation.
It started with that thing, and then just like here we are. Like
it was a fast backslide or forward slide.
And then Brandon said it was Talladega Nights, and then Richard said, "So we put this in last week's playlist, but we'll put it in this one too." I touched myself.
I touched myself
because we were saying it'd be funny for like the quarantine playlist because it's like when I think about you, I touch myself.
Because that's all I can do.
So, funny story, when Vince and I first visited LA, we actually got to see the guy who wrote a lot of these pop songs for like 80s and 90s stars. Like, this old white guy wrote Like a Virgin, and I think he also wrote Touch Myself. And he performed both those songs on acoustic guitar, and it was hilarious because he fully committed. He was just like, and when I think about you, I touch. But like a Virgin was hilarious because he was like a virgin, ooh, touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. But yeah, I don't know.
Where are we at?
Oh, Richard also said that he got MK11, so add me on Switch.
Oh, nice.
And we can duke it out. Although I will warn you, MK11 online on Switch sucks. But we'll do the best we can.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. On the flip side, I'm on a watch list because I play Assassin's Creed, MK11, and Animal Crossing. So like MK11, they just had the Spawn DLC.
Yes.
Like literally, like the second day of quarantine, they were like Spawn. Like really, it'd been planned for months. And so I got Spawn the second day of quarantine. I was like, I'm leveling up Spawn. He is the best. Like I can't communicate. Like he's everything you'd hope. And more. Like, he's amazing.
All I dream for and more.
All I dream for and more.
Like, he'll call, like, Satan, like, a dragon out of the ground and, like, bow to it, and then the flame. All the moves are crazy. One of his regular moves, non-fatality, he burns all your skin off and then puts it back on.
Dang!
I need that, though.
I'll show you side shows of that, too, sometime.
Yeah.
What level exfoliation is that?
For me, is when I started doing the like X-ray, where it shows like the bones,
and,
like, organs exploding, and that kind of stuff. Like, because like that was also when 3D TVs were a thing for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And like the guy that I was with at the time had like a giant like 50-inch 3D TV, and that was baller playing that. Like you're like, I feel like I'm there inside of his organs.
So they have an updated version of MK11 called Fatal Blows. And so it still does 3D stuff, but they move the camera angle, like swirling around and stuff. Wow. And so
so now you really want to barf.
So Spawns, I'll send you.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
after this, I'll forward it to Ruthann. But spawns Fatal Blow is he opens up his cape. It's like a giant bat, and inside the cape, because I guess it's like an interdimensional portal or something, are like battalions of like machine guns, all shooting at the character, and then like he like
badass
pulls like Satan's arms out of the ground and rips across your chest. It's insanity. Like,
my favorite thing about like those like type of attacks and whatnot, like the person's like lungs are smashed in, their skulls are smashed in, and they're like, all right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Like,
almost every single Fatal Blow, like someone gets shot in the eye.
Yeah, all of them.
Or like
a lot of them.
Yeah, or like you see the skull crack, or you see the spine like snap in half.
Yeah.
And so like,
and you're like, you did that.
But that carries the tradition of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Because the guy who's playing Jax in the upcoming Mortal Kombat movie, he like tweeted something like, I want to let everybody know that like the special effects are top notch, but also we're very like grounded in reality. And everybody's like, boo! Like, who wants MK grounded reality? People are like, grounded reality equals budget cuts.
Oh.
I do appreciate that Gary just stopped be like, you're too late, you're starting to yell, and I'm yelling in the background now.
I love it. I think we're in like a new normal now with everybody. Like, everybody understands, like...
Well, we're all stuck inside, so...
Yeah, it's totally fine. But so, here's a question for you guys, because this is something I never heard of, because I was trying to, like, contact my dad, and I was like, hey, do you want to do, like, Facebook video? Do you want to do Skype? And he's like, well, I don't know those. What about Zoom? And I was like...
I heard about that.
The fuck is Zoom?
It's like a video conferencing thing?
Yeah, but it's just like...
Like,
what?
yeah, it's
like, how about we just use Skype, which we've always used? I don't know. Like, why would I add yet another app? But yeah, I guess
he's like,
people are
I
very
use
much
Zoom.
liking Zoom
So,
right now.
so I think Zoom lets you do like kind of the Google Hangouts where you have several people all hanging out. But also, like when the quarantine started happening, I think the CEO was like, it's free for everybody to use for right now.
Oh.
And I think that just caused like a
makes
big
sense.
surge with everybody. Because even the CEO of Patreon, Jack Conte, did what he called the weird live stream-a-thon or something like that. And he had all these like cool people on there. And they use Zoom to like interchange between everybody around the country. So he could like hit a button and then like it would switch to somebody else and stuff. So there must be some functionality there
That's cool.
for them to do
Yeah.
that, you know?
If it works good, then it works good.
Oh, so Richard says Zoom can handle more than 100 people at once.
Whoa!
So there's that.
So it works real good.
I don't want to talk to 100 people. Like, nah, bruh.
That's a lot
Oh,
of
also,
people.
Richard, I added Promise of a New Day. He suggested Promise of a New Day. Promise of a new day. I changed keys twice there.
Where are we at? How many songs?
Oh
are
yeah,
we
let's
at now?
recap here. I guess we should like
Throw that on.
wrap the list up a little bit. We'll go through this. So I might reorder this a little bit so that some more well-known stuff is at the top. So when people find, so we publish this to Spotify and Apple Music as well as YouTube. And
Oh, awesome.
I do say to everybody, thank you for helping us make these because I said this last week, but Ruthann doesn't know. I've been curating playlists for some bigger projects,
Yeah.
and for a while now, for a few months. And so it's not totally secret, but on another live stream I mentioned, like, it might just be me hanging out with a bunch of people. I'll tell you what's going on with that. But we were trying to figure out, like, how to get this band's stuff involved in that and grow our Spotify numbers and stuff. And so from the second week we started doing this, for the first time in, like, 3 years, our Spotify, like, subscriber numbers are actually, like, growing because people are finding these playlists. So it's like, yes, so we're just suggesting other music. And also it's fun because we can hang out with you, make a playlist, and all that stuff.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm going to pull up...
Let's run through it, y'all.
Oh, also,
Let's do it.
I hit the wrong button, but these are the platforms. I should have put that up in my last explanation.
These are
There's
the
a graphic.
these are the thumbnails.
Okay, so what we got here...
God damn it, Gary.
No, I love the commentary. Because sometimes it feels like it's in reaction to what we're saying. I'm like,
It does.
we're like,
Oh shit! Let's check this
yeah,
out.
we're like, all that she wants.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit! First song is DC Talk.
All right,
Ba-ba-ba-bow,
so
bow.
DC Talk, Jesus Freak, then Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. You Were Meant For Me by Jewel. Heart Shaped Box by Nirvana. The Sign by Ace of Base. Here With Me by Dido. All I Really Want by Alanis Morissette. All That She Wants by Ace of Base. Oh, I didn't hear the all shit. Oh, there it is. Beautiful Life by Ace of Base. Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer. I Everybody go check out Sneaky Zebra on Twitch.
You're yelling so loud.
It's so fun though. So, Sneaky Zebra streams on Twitch. You should check it out. It's very energetic.
Sorry, you can continue.
I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. Breakfast at Tiffany's by Deep Blue Something. Too Legit to Quit by MC Hammer, which I guess he's just going by Hammer now.
Really?
I don't know. That's what it says. Vanilla Ice's Ninja Rap. Doo Wop That Thing by Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor. I'm getting okay, and then Mbop by Hanson, Creep by Radiohead, Army of Me by Bjork, It's Oh So Quiet by Bjork, Tallulah, the Tornado Mix by Tori Amos, Believe by Cher. Remember that? So Believe by Cher was the first song ever to use autotune.
That was 99?
Yeah. Good Vibrations by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Adam's
Groove by MC Hammer. Then Tracy Chapman, Matters of the Heart. Spin Doctors. Two Princes. Glory Box by Portishead. Third Eye Blind, Semi-Charmed Life. Absolutely Story of a Girl by 9 Days. How Bizarre by OMC. When Doves Cry, the Romeo and Juliet version. Eve 6, Inside Out. Four Non Blondes, What's Up. Madonna, Vogue. Divinless, I Touch Myself. And Promise of a New Day by Paula Abdul. Actually, that last one's a good way to end a playlist like this for the current circumstances.
We actually hit the right numbers, too.
Yeah.
38 songs.
Richard said I said Vibiology, but that one's a little more. That one. Oh, I'll add that one too, Richard, since you're cool about that. So that's a cool playlist.
That's got some great songs on it.
Vibiology.
You know what I think my favorite thing about it is it doesn't have any Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, or NSYNC, but it's very much every aspect of the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes. Amen. Even though I was an NSYNC fan.
So,
you know what, Vince? I'm just proud that you admitted that on live TV. That's really good of you. I'm proud of you.
Vince was
not an easy thing to admit.
Vince in musical theater school was in a group called Lip Sync. Guess what they did?
It was called Lip Sync. We all used to dance all the dance moves to the songs and lip sync. And it was high school, and it was the talent show. And we literally rocked that entire auditorium.
Drowning in pussy. You were drowning in pussy.
Although he was at theater school, so there might have been a mix.
But drowning in it nonetheless.
All over.
Oh.
You got a wide variety of sexual.
And then we actually tried to go from the show, from the school show on, and make original music, and we called it Marvin McCrockett.
I did not know that.
Because it was parts of all of our names that made that. And it went nowhere. And now it's a great story.
I'm shocked. I am shocked. You guys did not have the right agents.
You know what? The chemicals were off. The agents weren't there. That's the type of agents you were talking about, right?
It was all the marketing. It's their fault. Really.
Oh, that's so funny. So Richard said I admit liking boy bands, but that's kind of expected. So we also added Vibiology for him. So I think we're going to end the playlist there.
Yes.
But that's, like Ruthann said, like it's very representative of the 90s. But
Absolutely.
also not a lot of cliches on there. I mean, there's the sign.
Yeah.
But
and Semi-Charmed Life.
Yeah. But there's tent poles. That's what we call
them. There we go.
Yeah.
That's what's keeping this afloat.
But yeah, so that's cool. Wow, we've gone for an hour. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So are you serious?
So Vince and I talked. Do you still want to do tonight?
Yeah, we can still do tonight.
We talked, and since obviously we're not going to events and stuff, we used to do 11 p.m. live streams. Then we did it earlier to see, and earlier works well too.
Yeah.
And also to be able to have people like Ruthann on. So we I pointed here, but everybody sees me here. Ruthann on.
Yeah.
So since we have time tonight, we're doing this now, and then we're gonna wrap up, and then tonight at 11 we're gonna go again. I don't know if we'll make a playlist or just hang out. We're just gonna hang out with everybody, and just see what happens. This is uncertain times, so we're just gonna.
We'll share our deepest secrets.
Actually, I was doing that on Discord last night with everybody, because usually like Discord, we can only get to a couple messages and stuff.
Yeah.
And last night we actually had like really good discussions with the whole like community and everything, like all the OGers. And I was like, oh, hey, guys, so this is not, like, contractually secret, but some cool stuff just happened. I got to, like, tell everybody that. It was like, just, I just know if anybody finds out about where it came from. So, we're hanging out. Yeah, so we're probably we'll catch up a little bit here, too, but we're going to end this here. If you're watching this later on YouTube, Ruthann's face is being covered up by a thing asking you to subscribe. So do that if you're not already for some reason. Also, thanks to Ruthann for joining us. Go check out Geek Chic and everything.
Of course.
And Nerd Rage and everything. And then the bottom half of the video is being covered up by videos that the YouTube algorithm thinks you might like. So check them out. Let us know if it's right or wrong. And then if you're watching now or anything other than YouTube, none of that made sense. But thanks for hanging out. And then hang out with us next week, but also tonight. We don't know what's going on. We might stream more days. We don't know.
Maybe some more Animal Crossing. By that time, I might...
Maybe? I don't think that's a maybe, man. I think that is a definite... gonna happen.
I will already be assimilated.
Yeah, by then it's just gonna grab. Anyway.
Resistance is futile.
Nanu.
Well, thanks for joining us, and don't forget to do the wrong things
with the right people.
See you guys out there.